afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Friends of Caffeine Carburetors, our new series where we highlight exceptional cars like this one behind me, their owners, and the great stories sometimes behind these cars. We are looking at a 1966 Shelby GT350 with an amazing history and great stories behind it. And I'm very happy to welcome Richard Klein, the owner of this car, into our series. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Thank you.
The first question I have, you purchased this car in 1966 to go rallying. Why is that, and why a Shelby?
From 1960 to 66, we rallied in all sorts of underpowered cars. The last one being a 1965 Corvair Corsa, which at the end of its life, 120,000 miles, the engine blew out, got fixed under warranty, and I said, no more. And a friend of mine had a 65 GT350 that he gave me a ride in. I said, that's a nice car, but I would never want to own that one. And the 66s are available. And I went down and traded my Corvair in for a 66 GT350. Not an even trade.
Where did you purchase this car?
Bought this from Larson Ford in White Plains in 1966 in March. Went to the showroom after my Corvair incident, and this was the only car on the showroom floor that wasn't going 100 miles an hour sitting still. No stripes. All the others looked like they were going 100 miles an hour, and in rallying you want to be indiscreet and kind of inaccessible to the police.
Well, any police stories you can tell us?
No.
Okay.
See this Larson Ford emblem? Well, I wanted to put this on the back valance of the car when I bought the car. I said, absolutely no way. So I put it here on the air cleaner. Here it sits 57 years later, and I can't find another one, so I can't get this re-chromed.
When I invited Richard to participate in our series, he told me he had a wonderful history on this car, and 2 days later I received a package. I think it was 10 pages.
Those are the original gray-brown seatbelts that came in the 66 Shelbys. And it's never been out of the car except when we changed the carpeting.
Tell us more about the rallying history of the car, Richard.
We bought the car in March of 1966, and our first national rally was in April. Went to Front Royal, Virginia, 106 degrees at lunchtime. My rally driver said, got to get air conditioning. Well, that was really the only option on the car we ever put in. We did modify the front suspension a little bit for getting odometers that did not spin when the wheels spin. Since the front wheels don't spin, perfect solution is drill the spindles, put speedometer cables in, and run your rally equipment and get perfect mileage all the time.
When you sent me the package, it included a lot of interior photographs of computers, watches. Tell me a little bit about your instrumentation.
Well, in National Rally, there were two classes, equipped and unequipped. Equipped, you could do anything. Well, in the early 60s, we built a homemade computer. The guys at AT&T were building them with electronic parts. We were doing with gears. And we built the computer and all its accessories, and we put it in the car for every rally. We took it out, and I still have it, and I'll bring it to May 21st and put it inside the car, and everybody could see it, but we have pictures of it. I would say it's an adventure rallying in this car. We were late and lost all over, but we won a lot of rallies because we had power to make up the time.
Richard, for our viewers, explain the relationship between the navigator and the driver and their responsibilities individually and how they work together.
Well, the instruction sheets were written out, so at such and such point, turn right. At the same time, they'll say begin average speed of 37.2 miles an hour. Well, the driver is responsible for finding the clues to keep you on course. The navigator was calculating the time, so we remained on time. So the navigator would tell the driver, you're down 100th, you're up 200th of a second, a minute, you're down a minute, we gotta go a lot faster. And That's the collaboration between the two.
Okay.
The driver could never get to where he was going without the navigator telling him, you're supposed to be on time and turn here.
Did you have a variety of navigators, or you had a favorite?
I navigated. I had two drivers,
Okay.
two very good friends. Both of them had work, and some of them had jobs they couldn't get off for weekends, and some had a job where he could get off anytime he wanted.
Okay.
And depending upon the rally, whether it was a local or a long distance away national rally, and whoever was available, that's who went.
Okay. The car as it sits, has it been apart? Has it been repainted? Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
At 120,000 miles in 1990, a friend who was a student of mine when he was in junior high school, who became a Ford mechanic and a Shelby mechanic and a great racing driver, said, anytime you want to get your car restored, I'll do it in my basement, which he did in 1990. He took everything apart, rebuilt the engine, rebuilt the transmission, fixed the springs, which were horizontal, no arcing springs at all, original shocks, replaced those, original rear brake linings, lots of lining left, but big chunks are out of it. 120,000 miles was a lot of mileage and use on the car for rally. And it was painted that year. This is the same paint job that was done in 1990.
Okay.
And
All right, one last question. We're looking at a sign. Describe.
well, every year I get a year older on the car. So in 2016, we did a 50-year sign. And every year after that, I keep changing the numbers and the year.
Okay.
I would never know buy a new one. I'm too cheap for that.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for coming, bringing this wonderful car. We hope to see you soon at a Caffeine and Carburetor event.
On the 21st of May.
Bye, everyone.